Since time immemorial, man has been driven to push the limits of his strength, agility, and endurance. In his quest to achieve total victory, one place has become synonymous with that quest. This is Japan's Mount Midoriyama, the world's most difficult obstacle course. More than 1,500 feet of metal, mud, and pain. Over the past 14 years, more than 2,600 competitors have attempted to conquer it. Only 3 have ever succeeded. To achieve victory here, competitors must survive 4 grueling stages, each with its own unique combination of obstacles, pushing the limits of physical and mental endurance. No American has ever made it past stage 3. But that could all change because a group of 10 American athletes have traveled to Japan to take a shot at history.
Welcome back to Japan and the finals of American Ninja Warrior. Coming here to Japan is the experience of a lifetime for these athletes. They've had a chance not only to see the sights, but also to experience the amazing culture and history. How's this for a photo op, folks? Our ninjas dressed in kendo outfits. Kendo is the ancient Japanese sport of sword fighting using wooden swords. Our ninja warriors got instruction in a sport that dates back over 1,200 years. Their sensei ran them through drills, and these guys found out it's all about physical technique and voice control. So these guys gave it their all, and then had a chance to don the safety helmets and get a taste of competition.
It was pretty cool being a part of something like kendo in Japan. You know, they've been doing this for a really long time. It was nice to partake in their tradition.
And they were even given a traditional blessing by a Shinto priest to wish them well in this competition. It must be working because 9 of 10 competitors made it through stage 1. The sun has now set, and the lights have been turned on here at Mount Midoriyama, the world's most difficult obstacle course. And the American athletes are shining just as brightly. A truly remarkable performance as 9 out of 10 athletes advance to stage 2. Jimmy, what are they about to face?
Stage 1 was all about speed. Stage 2 is all about speed and upper body strength, Matt.
Well, for more on the obstacles they'll face, let's go to Allison Hayslip.
Well, guys, unlike stage 1, stage 2 is identical to the course last year, meaning our guys who have been here before may have an advantage. It starts with the slider drop. Guys have to grab the pole, slide on down, survive the jolt, and then land on the mats below. From there, they move on to the double salmon ladder. They must jump a bar up the rungs of the salmon ladder, transfer to the other side, and then do it again. Then they must transition to the next obstacle, the unstable bridge, where they must maneuver across 2 boards before they can jump to the landing platform on the other side. From the unstable bridge, they go immediately to the balance tank. Athletes must ride a cylinder down the ramp, grab the rope, and pull themselves up to the platform. From there, it is the metal spin. Athletes must jump and grab one of the hanging chains and swing around until they reach the other side. Finally, it's the wall lift. Competitors must lift 3 walls that get progressively heavier at 66, 88, and 110 pounds. They make it all the way there in time. They've done it, and they've only got 1:30. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Allison. So the obstacles get harder and the time to complete them gets shorter. It just keeps getting tougher as we go along. Here's the running order for the 9 competitors about to face stage 2. Jimmy, anyone looking vulnerable?
I think they all have the skill. Quite often it comes down to focus and experience. You know, David Rodriguez showboated a little on stage 1. He needs to refocus here. And Jake Smith had the slowest time in stage 1. He might not have the endurance it takes to get through even more physically taxing obstacles in stage 2.
And Jake's at the starting line right now as his improbable journey continues. He finished with only seconds to spare in stage 1, but he's already beaten the odds by being here in Japan. Going for the second run. Oh! Down! Jake Smith out on the salmon ladder. Jake Smith thought his dreams of competing in Japan had come to a bloody end when he fell during the semifinals, leaving him 1 spot shy of the top 15. But another competitor's injury before boot camp meant Jake was back, and he made the most of his second chance.
It's a boost to my ego. It's a boost to my confidence. And I have no reason to think that any one of us couldn't achieve total victory.
Jake Smith kicking it off here on the slider drop. Long fall there, but regathers Jimmy onto the double salmon ladder. Now this obstacle left him bloodied in our semifinals. Looking good here. Oh, a stumble, and he is hanging on with just one hand, Jimmy.
He has to get straight quickly. It's very important that if you have a mistake, you have to recover fast. Your arms get very tired on this obstacle.
Good technique there, good recovery, but it is so taxing here as he tries to make the leap. And he makes it, but the bar uneven again. This has just got to be draining his upper body strength.
And his forearms have to be burning right now. And he slips.
Jimmy, what went wrong?
Well, he had a slip up early on the salmon ladder, corrected well, but I think that sapped all his arm strength, did not have the energy to finish the double salmon ladder out strong.
So right off the bat, it's clear things are not going to be as easy for these competitors as they were on stage one. The competition continues here at Mount Midoriyama in Japan, where stage two is bathed in dramatic lighting. But don't let the beautiful setting fool you. The obstacles on this stage are tougher than the first. So far, Jake Smith struggled with the double salmon ladder, eventually losing his grip, and he is the first man to fall victim to stage two. We are in the middle of stage two action. It's the next step on the journey to what these athletes hope will be total victory, and a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. Up next is James McGrath. And Jimmy, I gotta say, I love the way this guy attacks every obstacle.
And his advantage is his upper body strength, long arms, very powerful, bodes well for stage two.
He's shown so much power and strength throughout qualifying, his fellow competitors have nicknamed him the Beast. And McGrath onto the slider drop. Again, so key to keep that bar even, and he does it. Nice dismount.
He's onto the salmon ladder, actually built one of these in his home, so you know he has experience with it. And he's going up it with force, Matt.
Unbelievable upper body strength here. James McGrath, so strong, has to make the transition. Wow, he didn't just jump across, he jumped up a rung as well. That is impressive.
Look at this forearm and grip strength on the unstable bridge. And this is a tough transition to make. And he nails it.
And phenomenal strength, phenomenal body control out of James McGrath. Again, showing why he is one of the favorites here at Mount Midoriyama.
The balance tank, like it says, all about balance, no upper body strength, and he sticks it. A little bit of a slip at the end.
But he is on to the medal spin. Will we have our first competitor to complete stage two? A long leap here.
And he makes it.
Hangs onto the chain, just the wall lift left. McGrath should be no problem with his strength. And
oh, he banged his nose on the 66-pound wall.
This man stops for nothing. Through the 88-pound wall, no problem. The 110-pound wall, just as easy, and he's got plenty of time to spare. So James McGrath breaks the ice, the first to complete stage two, finishing with nearly 18 seconds left on the clock.
That was great. Just what we talked about. Upper body strength. He put on a double salmon ladder clinic. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it.
Well, let's go to Allison, who's standing by with the Beast.
James, you didn't walk. You strutted to that finish line. Did you know you had that much time left?
I did not. I just know I didn't hear the buzzer, and I was just really happy to be out of that.
I'm sure. Now I have to ask you, you have a bit of a cut on your nose. What happened there?
Got ahead of myself on that first door over there. As I was going up, I was already walking. Walked right into it.
So maybe not the most graceful run, but you finished.
Yeah.
Back to you guys.
So James McGrath is the first to complete stage two. Can anyone else match his display of power? Up next, a man who doesn't seem to be fazed by anything, David Young Flip Rodriguez.
Now, the first thing you'll notice about Young Flip is that he competes with a mask on. As we found out, that's for very personal reasons.
My name is David Young Flip Rodriguez. I'm 22 years old. I'm a professional free runner, and I live in Miami, Florida. The main reason behind the mask is because it reminds me of everything I've been through. It was father issues, then girlfriend issues, then this and that. So I just decided to express myself a different way. I didn't have to resort to anything else like drugs, alcohol, or anything of that sort. When I have it on, you can't tell what I'm feeling, you can't tell what I'm thinking, you can't tell anything. You're just gonna have to wait and see which ones I use for Japan. Yes!
I'm gonna be the next American Ninja Warrior.
My normal day consists of teaching free running and parkour. We're here teaching a youth class, ages anywhere from 5 to 9. I push my students to do the best they can do and try to perfect everything they can. Just strive for the best. Yes! It's a great honor to be here in Japan. To be the first American to win Ninja Warrior, that's something that can't be taken away from me. The money will be spent. The title will never fade.
Well, this is his next step toward that title. He just saw James McGrath complete stage 2, so he knows it can be done. And a confident young flip onto stage 2. Oh, he's down!
On the first obstacle, just couldn't keep the bar straight, Matt.
And the masked man's run is over. David Young Flip Rodriguez out on stage 2. Jimmy, what went wrong?
Well, on the slider drop, he just made a quick mental error. He let the right side of the bar get ahead of the left side, and once that happens, Matt, there's nowhere to go but down.
So another man out on stage 2, this time on the very first obstacle. And the other athletes looking on realize Mount Midoriyama is now fighting back. Up next, the man who has quietly become one of the strongest athletes in this competition, Travis Rosen.
As an All-American gymnast, he performs well under pressure. When the lights are on, that's when he's at his best.
Travis Rosen, the father of 2, hoping to become just the second man to get through stage 2.
Let's go, Travis!
On to the slider drop.
Good job on the slider drop, onto the double salmon ladder. This one so physically taxing.
If there's one obstacle that is a differentiator in stage 2, it is the double salmon ladder. Requires unbelievable strength and agility. Rosen looking good on the first half so far.
You have to go through it with confidence. The more time you spend sizing up this obstacle, the harder it is. You got to go through it one after the other.
A good transition, moving up one rung left, and now the transition to the unstable bridge.
And you see there are 4 cables holding the first part of the unstable bridge, but only 2 holding up the second, and he handles the transition well.
A gymnast, very good body control, very comfortable on this obstacle, and maybe I spoke too soon. He is through, onto the balance tank.
Now the guys tell me the balance tank is all about momentum. If you fall forward and make a jump for that rope, and that's exactly what he does.
Looking real good. Will he be the second competitor to get through stage 2, Jimmy? Onto the metal spin, big leap here.
Oh! Just caught it too low.
And the 36-year-old father of 2 with an unbelievable run, but unfortunately, Travis Rosen is done. Jimmy, what went wrong?
You know, the metal spin, maybe not the most physically challenging, but a very tricky obstacle and one he's never trained on.
When we come back, Travis Berlanek takes his shot at stage 2, but finds trouble early on. And National Guardsman Ryan Stratus tries to hang on to his dream of conquering Mount Midoriyama. The search for the first American to achieve total victory continues here in Japan. On the line, a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. 4 have attempted stage 2, but only James McGrath from Seattle, Washington has completed it. Will anyone join him in stage 3? Up next, the dream continues for our National Guardsman. It's Ryan Stratus.
Ryan Stratus is a fierce competitor. His upper body strength should definitely help him on this stage, particularly on the salmon ladder and the unstable bridge.
And you know he's excited to have made it this far, but stage 2 proving much more difficult than stage 1. We're still looking for our second competitor to get through. And he makes it through the slider drop. The National Guardsman grunting like he's back in boot camp.
Onto the salmon ladder, and you see that consistency, that military precision from Ryan Stratus as he works his way up the salmon ladder.
Making the transition now. Wow! Ryan actually jumps up a rung while leaping across to the other salmon ladder. Great upper body strength out of Stratus, Jimmy.
You know, Ryan has to be thrilled to have made it this far. He's been trying to get here for 5 years, and he's making the most of it.
All this training paying off for Ryan Stratus, not making any mistakes, and onto the balance tank. a little off balance there, makes the transition. Has to be careful here. This is the obstacle that took out Travis Rosen. The leap here is so key to allow you to get a good hand grip.
And he got it!
That is just a lot of upper body strength. Shows how strong Ryan Stratis is. The 66-pound wall done. 88 pounds done. Final wall 110 pounds, and he makes it through.
Wow, and he has 18 seconds still on the clock.
And Ryan Stratis becomes just the second man to move on to stage 3.
What was so impressive was his physicality. You can see it on the double salmon ladder that Ryan's got the technique down, and that gives him the confidence to put everything he has into it. He attacks stage 2. Does he have the momentum to go all the way? I think he does, Matt.
So an elated Ryan Stratis getting congratulations from the other competitors. Ryan will join James McGrath on the next stage, and we still have 4 more athletes waiting to take their shot at stage 2. Up next, Travis Verlanik from Santa Cruz, California.
Since the starting of American Ninja Warrior, I've made it all 3 times to Japan. And to be here for a 3rd time is pretty big. I love coming here, the culture and experience in Japan, and I'm stoked for being back here. I absolutely love it. I work as a salsa instructor. I think dancing salsa helps me prepare for Mount Midoriyama in a lot of ways. You have to really be comfortable in your body, so a lot of the moves in salsa take a lot of coordination. I think it certainly helps. I'm definitely more prepared this year. I've trained a lot, and I actually feel stronger than I did last year. You know, you learn a lot every time you run the course. I can't overlook things. I have to, take each obstacle kind of cautiously, test it out. You don't always know how it's gonna react. You may think you do, but you don't. I feel really good and really privileged to be able to compete again. There's no words to describe how I feel. I'm just so glad to be doing what I love again. I'm really in it to win it.
That's right, baby, I'm back. I'm coming for you, Mount Midoriyama.
And you gotta like the confidence. Travis fell on the balance tank in stage 2 last year. You know he wants redemption tonight.
Travis actually missed out on training for several months this year due to an injury on his hand when he misjudged a backflip. Didn't give him any trouble on stage 1, though.
Now onto the salmon ladder.
He's seen this obstacle a million times, trains with David Campbell on his backyard course.
Oh, he has got the bar uneven. Travis with a mental lapse. Again, this stage, maybe it's in his head, Jimmy.
But you see that recovery. That's a veteran move. Didn't panic, got straight, and a beautiful transition between the 2 salmon ladders, Matt.
The transition now to the unstable bridge.
Here's where that upper body is burning. Forearms are hurting. You have to make this transition quickly and cleanly.
Looking good, building up momentum. Again, good form, keeping the arms at 90 degrees, says that improves his stamina there, and transitions onto the balance tank. This is the obstacle that took him out of the competition last year.
You see here, taking his time, does not want another mental lapse, and he's over it.
He is through, and now onto the medal spin. Better than he did last year. Travis has to be excited. Could be our 3rd American to get through this stage.
Oh!
A shocking turn of events as Travis Verlanik's run here at Mount Midoriyama comes to an end at the medal spin. He's headed over to Allison right now.
Travis successfully made it past the balance tank, only to fall on the next obstacle. What happened?
I just didn't get a good enough jump across. A little farther than I thought it was going to be, actually.
At least you have gone further each time you're here. That's an accomplishment in and of itself.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Stage 2 is proving to be unpredictable. A number of athletes who expected to still be in the competition suddenly find themselves on the outside looking in. Mount Midoriyama once again showing no mercy. But we still have 3 athletes hoping to move on to stage 3. We're in the middle of stage 2 action here in Japan, and at stake, a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. Up next, a man who last year made it through, that's Brent Stephenson.
He looked great in stage 1, but as stage 2 has taught us nothing else, can't take anything for granted, Matt.
Brent trying to become the 3rd athlete to clear stage 2, but he's already seen 4 of his fellow competitors come up short, and that has to be weighing on his mind.
All day, buddy.
A little awkward on the slider drop.
He's trying to keep it straight. He knows if it gets an angle, he's out, but He lands onto the double salmon ladder.
Good upper body control there to save himself. And now the double salmon ladder, an obstacle, very much experienced with it, got through this stage last year, Jimmy.
Yeah, he attacked it last year. I think it's one of his best obstacles. Man, beautiful transition.
So strong. You see Brent Stephenson, the gymnast, the stuntman, using that upper body strength and looking real good on the unstable bridge as well.
Good switch, good transition. A lot of momentum coming off the unstable bridge, Matt.
He is onto the balance tank. Taking his time, getting it rolling.
Oh, onto his knees, but gets back up again.
Wow, Brent Stephenson surviving some close calls. A rocky performance out of Stephenson. And he's out! And the man who's been one of the strongest athletes all competition long is done. Brent Stephenson going home. Jimmy, what went wrong?
He grabbed too low on the chain, could not hold on to it. It ended up snapping back, and he ended up in the water.
Well, for more with Brent, let's go to Allison.
Brent, a seemingly very simple obstacle, the medal spin, took out 2 of your teammates before you. Was that going through your head when you got there?
Not really. I'd done it before. I knew what I needed to do. Gave it everything I had. Just came up short.
So 2 veterans are taken out by the medal spin while 2 rookies are moving on to stage 3. Not numbers that inspire confidence for the 2 veterans left to run. Next up, Paul Casimir out of Longmont, Colorado. His fellow competitors have nicknamed him One Try Paul because of his ability to adapt to new obstacles.
We've seen some talented athletes fall already on obstacles you wouldn't expect, and Paul Casimir, who normally has laser beam focus, is still dealing with the death of his girlfriend just 2 weeks ago.
Paul Casimir on to stage 2, completed it last year, certainly hoping to do that again here, Jimmy. Oh! A little uneven on the slider drop.
Wow, almost stepped back into the water there, Matt.
A long fall that is not an easy landing, but moves on to the double salmon ladder. Stage 2 proving so difficult for these competitors, and Casimir hung up, highlighting the challenge that they're facing here. 9 completed stage 1, only 2 have made it through this stage.
You got it, let's go!
Has to make this leap, make it smooth, and he does, actually goes up. Casimir, a strong transition there, Jimmy.
Onto the unstable bridge. No, you really can't overlook any obstacle in this stage 2.
Wow, what an athletic move. Casimir now trying to make the final leap to complete the unstable bridge and onto the balance tank. Paul Casimir looking strong, gaining confidence as he goes through the course, Jimmy.
Paul Casimir, you see him sizing up the medal spin, checking his grip. This is crucial here, Matt.
With the humidity tonight, so hard to hold on to that chain. And Casimir takes his leap, and he has it, and he is through. On to the final obstacle, the wall lift. But time's starting to run out. He can't afford any mistakes. Struggling with the last wall, but he's through. So with the clock ticking down, Paul Casimir becomes the 3rd man to clear stage 2. A tremendous performance, and he's making his way over to Allison right now.
Paul, another fantastic run. The medal spin had taken out a couple of your teammates before you. Was that at all in your head when you got to that obstacle?
I was pretty worried, so I just ran for it and held on strong.
All right, well, you made it through with more time than you did last season, so congratulations on that. Back to you guys.
And Paul Casimir has done it again. He's moving on to stage 3, along with James McGrath and Ryan Stratus, and we still have one more athlete with hopes of joining them. Coming up, David Campbell, the man who's dedicated his life to conquering Mount Midoriyama. Will he fall victim to the medal spin like so many competitors before him? When the finals of American Ninja Warrior return. We're deep into what's proving to be a ruthless stage 2. Of the 8 competitors who've stepped to the starting line, only 3 have managed to complete it. Ryan Stratus from Kennesaw, Georgia, Paul Casimir from Longmont, Colorado, and James McGrath, the student from Seattle, Washington. And getting ready to take the next step towards what he hopes will be total victory, our final competitor to take on stage 2. It's the man who flew through stage 1 with the fastest time of any athlete, David Campbell.
He's also gotten further than any other American here at Mount Midoriyama, but in order to surpass the mark he set last year, he has to get through a very challenging stage 2.
David Campbell, the last of the 9 to take on stage 2, onto the slider drop. And look at DeBar chasing after him, but he is onto the double salmon ladder, Jimmy.
Great momentum. You know, he has these obstacles built on his home course. He practices constantly. There's nothing here that he hasn't seen before. It's how can he apply his experience.
Great transition across on the double salmon ladder, and he's up to the top, moving on to the unstable bridge. Looking strong, looking confident here, Jimmy.
He's confident because he's prepared. These are all obstacles he's seen before. This is a guy who thrives on preparation. Great jump, beautiful transition.
Getting through, making one more swing just to make sure, and he is onto the balance tank. Taking a moment, gathering his thoughts, Campbell always wanted to make sure he's centered before he starts on any obstacle. And through the balance tank, onto the dreaded metal spin. This obstacle's already taken out a number of athletes tonight. And he sticks it. A great leap there, and only the wall lift remains. 66 pounds, 88 pounds, and finally 110 pounds. And David Campbell makes it 4 competitors moving on to stage 3.
He was almost a victim of the metal spin, got very low on the chain, but was able to hang on and finish with plenty of time to spare.
Well, let's go to Allison, who's with David right now.
David, fantastic showing once again. It seemed like you took your time with the unstable bridge, though. Getting off of it, you second-guessed it. Was that correct?
No, that's my usual technique for the unstable bridge. I just want to make sure to get a good swing so I don't fall backwards. I did hesitate a little bit more than usual on the rolling log and on the metal spin especially. I'd seen so many people fall on it, so I wanted to make sure I really sized up and hit it just right. And I think it was necessary because when I hit that thing, I slid down about 8 inches.
You're on to your favorite stage, stage 3. You ready?
I think I am.
All right, back to you guys.
We entered stage 2 with 9 Americans, only 4 remain. Ryan Stratus leads that group with the fastest time through stage 2, followed by fellow rookie James the Beast McGrath, and 2 of our veterans, David Campbell and Paul Casimir. The dream is still alive for 4 of our athletes as they continue on to stage 3, where they are one step closer to becoming the first American Ninja Warrior and winning a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. But to win it all and achieve total victory, they must now face the most punishing obstacles yet, including the ultimate cliffhanger, an obstacle no athlete has ever completed at Mount Midoriyama. Jimmy, as we enter stage 3, what is your prediction?
Well, stage 3 is all about the upper body, and that's an advantage that James McGrath has in spades. He's built for stage 3. But if I had to put my money on someone, it would be on the consistency of David Campbell. He went out on the ultimate cliffhanger last year and has been working relentlessly on it since.
Well, for more on the obstacles they're about to face, let's go to Allison Hayslip.
Well, guys, unlike stages 1 and 2, there is no clock in stage 3. So speed is not a factor here, but upper body strength is. First off, we've got the arm bike. Competitors have to crank those hand wheels over these bars to make it to the other side. Then it's onto the flying bar. Athletes have to launch themselves onto that red bar and travel with the bar from rung to rung to make it to the other side. Next is an obstacle that has never been completed. It is the ultimate cliffhanger. Athletes have to make their way across the red ledges using only their fingertips. After the cliffhanger, there are no more places to rest. They'll have to get through a series of relentless upper body obstacles: the jumping ring, the chainsaw, and the rope climb. Then it is the final obstacle, the bar glider. Unlike stage 2 where gravity helped them out, they are required to move the bar themselves using solely their own momentum, plus get over that little lip to make it all the way to the other side. Again, competitors are not timed on this stage. All they have to do is finish. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Allison. Now, as we look at the order for stage 3, it's like Allison said, all they have to do is finish.
Easier said than done, Matt.
First to take a shot at stage 3 is a man who started this competition as an unknown. He's a part-time employee at an ice cream shop, and now he's halfway towards winning $500,000. It's James McGrath.
This is a kid who just seems to get stronger as this competition goes on, and where he gets stronger is in the upper body.
Well, he's going to need it because stage 3 is much tougher than stage 1 or 2. No American has ever made it past this stage. James McGrath onto the arm bike and pedaling furiously with his hands.
Let's go, James. Take as much rest as you can, dude.
I think he knows the longer you spend on these obstacles, the more tired your upper body gets. He wants to fly through them.
And keep in mind, James is going first. His fellow competitors will be able to watch and pick up pointers. Wow, a nice transition there.
Beautiful control, not only strength, but good agility, good timing.
And he is on to the ultimate cliffhanger, an obstacle at Mount Midoriyama that has never been defeated, Jimmy.
But you see why that ledge so incredibly small. It's all about hand, finger, grip strength, and at 170 pounds, can he keep his body above the water?
He was very strong on this at boot camp, but again, he's already had to do 2 stages today. It's been 95 degrees. It is unbelievably taxing.
But you see his arms kind of beginning to straighten. That's a bad sign.
You can do it. Come on, give it a
If
shot.
fatigue takes over, then there's just no recovering on the ultimate cliffhanger. Trying to make the transition. Oh! And he does not make it. And the beast is done. James McGrath out on stage 3. Jimmy, what happened?
Well, one thing is he's a big competitor. I think all that mass dragged him down. You see, fatigue was such a factor, could not get through the ultimate cliffhanger.
James, you were looking incredibly strong up until that point. What happened?
I felt strong up until that point. That 4th piece of wood there, once I hit that, my hands just started to give away.
I felt like I saw the fatigue set in.
It hit me almost instantly. I wasn't ready for that.
Well, as we know, the ultimate cliffhanger has taken out many masters of this course, so you should be proud of your accomplishments up to this point.
Thank you.
We're searching for the first American to conquer all 4 stages of the most ruthless obstacle course known to man. At stake, a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. James McGrath from Seattle, Washington was the first to take on stage 3. He looked strong starting his run, but was unable to navigate a transition on the ultimate cliffhanger, the obstacle no one in the history of Mount Midoriyama has been able to conquer. But there are 3 athletes waiting to take their shot. Up next is Ryan Stratis, the National Guardsman from Kennesaw, Georgia. Allison Hayslip is with him right now.
This has been sort of a dream come true. I feel like this is at the point where you realize it's real.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was real as soon as I got off work the other day, knowing I was be flying out here, but being here on the course with the other All-Stars, it is definitely a fun experience.
Well, there are very few Americans who have made it to this point, so congratulations on that so far, and good luck to you.
You have to love more than just his physical abilities. You have to love his heart. Every time he's been knocked down, he got back up. And finally, he's here in Japan, and he's on stage 3.
There is no one in the world who wants this more than Ryan Stratis.
He's looked great through the first 2 stages, but stage 3 is a whole new ballgame.
Great job on the arm bike so far. Prides himself on his conditioning, but Matt, there's a big difference between overall conditioning and upper body conditioning, which is what stage 3 is all about.
And the flying bar, not only are you taxing your upper body, but you have to have the finesse, make the leap, get the bar into the cradle. Real good body control, building up momentum. And he does it. Good move there, building up the momentum again for the transition. All of this, though, taking energy, Jimmy.
The more time you spend on each obstacle, the more fatigued your grip gets, forearms wear out, biceps start burning.
Very nice. Let's go, buddy. The cliffhanger. That's it. You got it.
And Ryan Stratis on to the ultimate cliffhanger, a chance to be the first ever to defeat this obstacle at Mount Midoriyama.
You saw James McGrath fall, but Ryan Stratis, much smaller. McGrath, about 170 pounds. Ryan Stratis built to succeed a little bit better on this particular obstacle.
Looking strong, Stratis. All that preparation paying off here. This transition, though, so difficult.
It's one hand on, and it's not enough.
And the dream is over for Ryan Stratus. A phenomenal run, but he goes out on the ultimate cliffhanger. Jimmy, what was his undoing?
I think it's fatigue. It's been a very long day. His upper body has to be exhausted and just gave out.
Well, let's go to Allison, who's standing by with Ryan right now.
Is making it to the ultimate cliffhanger good enough?
For now, yes. You know, I really had a good time out here, and I'm glad I made it this far. And I'll be back to knock that guy out and hopefully take on the last stage.
Congrats on making it this far.
Thanks, Allison.
Back to you guys.
Well, the two newcomers are out, which leaves only two competitors remaining in the hunt for the $500,000 prize. Up next, Paul Casimir. His story is an emotional one. Following the recent tragedy of his girlfriend who died in a hiking accident, he is competing here today in honor of her memory.
All right, Paul!
His fellow athletes showing their support for Paul. Made it to stage 3 last year, one of several competitors representing Colorado here. Paul Casimir flying through the arm bike. Nice landing on what is a very small mat.
Now you notice barefooted this time. None of these obstacles require his feet. That's extra weight that he just does not need.
Notching that bar solidly in the cradle.
And not taking a lot of time swinging. He's nailing this pretty quickly, saving his energy for the ultimate cliffhanger. He knows he's going to need it.
There we go. Let's go, Paul. Here we go, Paul. There's this cliffhanger, buddy. Get it done.
This weather tonight, sticky, humid, very hard to get a good grip. You see him chalking up. Will it be enough?
This is farther than he made it last year. This obstacle, though, you know he wants to be the first ever to defeat it. Let's see what Paul has. Just a taxing upper body workout here. Arms getting extended. A little fatigue, but looking strong, moving across this ledge, Jimmy.
You talk to the athletes, they talk about you want to keep your arms bent. It's easier to keep your arms bent. When they get straight, it's very hard to recover.
And he makes it. What a strong run this is by Paul Casimir.
But this transition is so tricky. Oh! He doesn't get it!
It has been an unbelievably inspiring story. Paul Casimir bravely competing in the face of personal tragedy with the recent loss of his girlfriend, but his run has come to an end.
Now, it's always disappointing when you go out, but he got further than he ever has here at Mount Midoriyama. He's got to be proud of his performance, Matt.
Well, we'll hear from Paul himself after the break, but coming up, we started out with 10, but only one remains. David Campbell continues his date with destiny. Will he be the first American to conquer Mount Midoriyama? Can he succeed where everyone else has failed? Three have attempted the third stage here in Japan. None has made it past the ultimate cliffhanger. Only one American competitor remains with the shot at total victory and a K-Swiss endorsement deal worth $500,000. Welcome back to the finals of American Ninja Warrior, where Paul Casimir's unbelievable run has come to an end. But he's with Allison right now.
Paul, you watched your two teammates fall before you on the ultimate cliffhanger. When you got there, was that going through your head?
No, not really. You know, I got tired, fatigue. It's been a long day, very hot. I'm a little disappointed I didn't finish, but it is a very humbling obstacle.
And now it's time for the final athlete to head to the starting line on stage 3, David Campbell, the musician from Scotts Valley, California.
You have to be 100% focused on every single obstacle. I try to be ready for everything. Imagine every possible movement they could throw at us and make sure I'm strong every way my body could move. I focused mostly on stage 3, trying to make my arms and fingers as strong as possible. So I think I'll be good for the whole course.
And it all comes down to this. The quest to be the first American ever to achieve total victory at Mount Midoriyama rests on the shoulders of David Campbell.
They are well-prepared shoulders. He considers this really his life's mission to finish this course, and it all starts with stage 3.
Despite all his preparation, never faced the arm bike, but looking strong through it here.
David Campbell, the last man standing, the only one who still has a shot to go all the way, achieve total victory, and win the $500,000 endorsement deal.
David, with a methodical approach, taking his time, does not want to make a mistake here.
No wasted energy. Couple swings and right into the next pocket.
Real smooth transition there, and David Campbell jumps down, and here comes his nemesis. David Campbell went out on the ultimate cliffhanger last year. He has trained relentlessly because he wants to be the first person ever to defeat this obstacle at Mount Midoriyama.
As David Campbell reaches out for the first ledge, it is all or nothing at this point. Inch by agonizing inch, he is working his way to the final stage.
And he is moving through the ultimate cliffhanger looking strong, ready to transition to the upper ledge, and he's got it.
Yeah. Wasting no time. I think he's trying to get through it before his arms begin to fatigue.
But this next transition, the most difficult on the obstacle, and he makes it. David Campbell, one leap away from completing the ultimate cliffhanger, and he has it. David Campbell will become the first person ever to complete this obstacle. Oh my goodness!
Oh no! He's so close! Oh my God!
An absolutely gut-wrenching moment. David Campbell inches away from becoming the first person ever to complete the ultimate cliffhanger, but it was not meant to be.
And how incredibly disappointing. Actually got the toes of his foot on the pad, but didn't have the energy to launch himself off the ultimate cliffhanger. What a heartbreaking finish.
Well, let's go down to Allison, who's with David right now.
David, you made it the whole way through the ultimate cliffhanger, got your foot on the opposite ledge. Did you think you had it at that point?
I did. And actually, you know, I don't know. It's the furthest I've been, but it's also the most disappointed I've been in a failure.
Why is that?
Because I could have done it this time. I really could have done it. And I was just so close, you know?
It's also the furthest any American has been. No American has made it to that final platform on the ultimate cliffhanger. So you are bringing us one step closer to finding an American Ninja Warrior. I hope you find pride in that, sir.
Yeah, I do. You know, it's a big honor to get the furthest of all the Americans, you know, be the #1 American, but I felt like I could have gone so much further. I'll be back next time for sure.
Great. Back to you guys.
Well, let's keep things in perspective, Matt. This is the most infamous obstacle course in the world for a reason. Thousands have run it, only 3 have completed it, but the performance of this group of outstanding athletes will be a springboard. I predict an American will achieve total victory next year.
It was an unparalleled performance. 10 Americans came to Japan, each with his sights set on total victory. A record-setting 9 cruised through stage 1. 4 more made it safely through stage 2. But once again, total victory proved elusive as each lost his grip on stage 3's ultimate cliffhanger. And with it, his shot at a $500,000 K-Swiss endorsement deal. The quest remains unfulfilled, but these men have taken great strides towards conquering the most infamous obstacle course in the world. The dream is still alive, to one day reach total victory atop Mount Midoriyama. For Jimmy Smith and Allison Hayslip, I'm Matt Eisman. We'll see you next season on American Ninja Warrior.